Buster Keaton's lighthearted comedy College was conceived as a low-cost production following his epic but financially disappointing masterpiece, The General. Although prominent today, at the time of filming in 1927, the USC campus had only a handful of buildings, and the UCLA campus had just started construction. Buster filmed College at his small studio located in Hollywood at the corner of Eleanor and Lillian Way. The larger Metro studio to the south closed its Hollywood facilities in 1924 to become part of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in Culver City. The Keaton studio is long gone, and in a twist that would likely make Buster chuckle, a plaque commemorating his studio stands on the wrong side of the street. Nonetheless, this program will show how Keaton filmed several scenes in this Hollywood neighborhood. The movie begins with Buster's high school graduation, filmed away from Hollywood at the former Union High School in Glendale. Demolished in 1939, the site is now home to the Glendale Public Library. Buster arrives for college at the Glendale Southern Pacific Station, built in 1924. Now an Amtrak station, the Glendale landmark has appeared in such film noir classics as Act of Violence. Keaton filmed the campus scenes at the Los Angeles State Normal School, built in 1914 on Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. The campus became the southern branch of the University of California in 1919 and was renamed the University of California at Los Angeles in 1927. The UCLA campus known today opened in Westwood in 1929. Millspaw Hall, pictured here, was demolished in the 1960s. The Vermont Avenue campus is now Los Angeles City College and is used today as a filming location for the NBC sitcom Community. Buster's baseball practice scenes were filmed at the former Bovard Athletic Field on the campus of USC. When Buster arrives for practice, you can see homes along 34th Street in the background. Now part of the USC campus, a few of these homes remain standing today. This view looks across Bovard Field toward the Bovard Auditorium and Administration Building. Here's the front of the building as it looks today. As Buster steps up to bat, you can see the running track behind him and the homes and apartments that once stood at the former corner of 34th and Hoover. In real life, Keaton was an accomplished baseball player and would stage pickup games with his crew whenever he was stuck for an idea. This view shows the back of the former USC Music School to the left and the former women's gymnasium. Buster also staged the football game from his 1923 comedy 3 Ages at Bovard Field, the same field where Harold Lloyd tried out for the football team in his 1925 hit comedy, The Freshman. Today the field is packed with many buildings, including the Harold Lloyd Motion Picture Soundstage, that is part of the USC School of Cinematic Arts. Dejected, Buster returns from baseball practice along the south fence of his studio. As Buster bumps into the dean, played by Snitz Edwards, we look east down Romaine Street from the corner of Buster's studio towards the vacant Metro Studio building across the street. Next, Buster walks past a dormitory set built on a small vacant lot due west of his studio. In the background stands the flagpole tower of the former Metro Studio Administration Building. After tormenting Buster, the bullies run past a pair of distinctive duplex bungalows. As seen in this aerial view, the bungalows once stood on Cahuenga across the street from Buster's studio. The same bungalows appear over the studio fence during this scene from Keaton's 1921 short film, The Boat. Leaving Bovard Field, Buster filmed the college track scenes at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum a few blocks to the south. The stadium opened in 1923 and played host to both the 1932 and 1984 Olympic Games. It remains the only venue to host the Olympic Games twice. These views look to the peristyle at the east end of the stadium. The peristyle also appeared during the Roman age scenes in Buster's earlier comedy, 3 Ages. Later on, after making the crew team, Buster walks in Exposition Park away from Bowen Hall, the former state exposition building that stood adjacent to the Coliseum. Looking across the low wall of the sunken rose garden, you can see Zumberge Hall on the USC campus in the far distance. As Buster tells Mary he made the crew team, you can see the former Exposition Park lawn bowling clubhouse in the background. Keaton staged the crew race scenes at Newport Beach, about 50 miles south of Hollywood. Newport Beach is also where Buster filmed aquatic scenes from the Scarecrow, the boat, Sherlock Jr., and the cameraman. The crew race sequence in College begins in front of the extant Balboa Pavilion. Built in 1905, the pavilion has been a Newport Beach landmark for more than 100 years. In Buster's day, tourists could travel to the pavilion from downtown Los Angeles in about an hour by taking the Pacific Electric Red Car. Here, Buster and the crew set out for the race from the back of the Balboa Pavilion. These extras waiting to appear in College are lined up just north of the Balboa Pavilion. The buildings on Palm Street, at back, are visible when Buster's crew lowers their boat into the water. In his short film, The Boat, Buster launches his family boat beside the pavilion, and the same buildings on Palm Street appear in the background. The former Balboa Island water tower appears during these scenes in both College and in The Boat. The race concludes at the extant Newport Harbor Yacht Club, located a few blocks north of the Balboa Pavilion. After the race, Buster runs to Mary's rescue alongside the former Metro studio building across from the Keaton studio. Because Metro left Hollywood in 1924 to become part of MGM, the building had been abandoned for 3 years by the time Buster filmed here, and it's starting to look run down. You can see through the vacant building to the studio backlot, where Keaton had once filmed scenes from Cops and Go West. Returning to Exposition Park, Buster next runs alongside the stately Los Angeles County Natural History Museum just north of the Coliseum. Buster grabs a laundry pole beside a small cabin located across the street from his studio and uses it to vault into Mary's dorm room. A trained acrobat since he was 3, Keaton performed all of his own stunts and even doubled for other actors in his films. Yet to his great dismay, Buster was not able to master the pole vault and had to employ Olympic gold medalist Lee Barnes to perform the stunt for him instead. As Buster and Mary head from the church towards married life, bitter old age, and matching tombstones, our program comes to a close.